as we go. So we're there, and let me make sure. Yeah, there's 2. Okay. You should be good whenever. I'm gonna make things pretty while whatever happens. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to start whenever you are, dog. Okay. Can they not? Then that's on you, not me. Because they can hear the game. No. I mean, like, are you not streaming your mic? You should do that. Did I not say that you should?
There we are!
Hi.
Mistakes are made.
It's okay, it only...
I thought you were going through Discord, to be honest.
Sorry, bud.
Oh, okay. So, wow, we lost, like, a good chunk there. Okay, so this is EX Advent. Like I said when apparently my mic was muted in OBS. This category is Beginner Ashe. So if you watch SGDQ, you saw Jim Freak, one of the other brothers, do Gray. So there's only a few differences between Ashe and Gray, and I'll mention them as they come up. So coming up, we're actually about to get Model A. So now we can go fast. Oh, I didn't get a good bot boost there. There's a little damage boost you can get that saves like a few frames. And this is already an awful train. Oh god, this is a really bad train. This is not a great start. But, so coming up is a pretty important detail in this game. Going in the cutscenes actually buffers inputs, and if you let go of the input during the cutscene, it actually does it the frame that you get control over your character. So, as you saw there for a second, Ashe's charge shots actually ricochet. That's the main difference between Ashe and Gray. All their charge abilities and charge shots are actually completely different between the two characters. So now we show off the main ability of this game. You actually can copy the boss status and use them throughout the whole game. So you'll be seeing a really wide range of character usage. We pretty much use every character on the run but one. So now I have to go back so I can get a red key card so I can access the rest, more areas in this game. So one thing you'll be seeing me do a lot is I'll have to stop at save stations and like turn in quests to unlock the next areas or certain cutscenes or triggers, stuff like that. So that cutscene just gave me the red card, so now I can go through any door that is a red door. So coming up is the first time that you have divergent paths. you have 2 different areas you can kind of go do before you go to the next area. But both need to be completed to move on. There will be an elemental lock that you'll see later on. So I'll be going to the Tower of Ashe, I believe it's what it's called. I never learned the name of it. And if you watch this run, the last Degen marathon, when I was in it, I did a really kind of outdated strat. Oh wow, that was not good. We have a new strat for this place now. And it uses Buckfire, and it's kind of neat. And by neat, I mean it's just simple. Alright, and that saved like 2 seconds. Quality time save. So, every level has mini bosses like this one. Neo Spider. He is not fun. And at least they're pretty easy and quick to kill. And I got some good RNG from him. He can get really bad and just stay up to the top of the screen the whole time, which is bad for Gray. But Ashe can actually just ricochet a shot up to it, so it's kind of easy. So, I didn't mention this before, but what I'm doing with the charge shot, when you have the charge shot out, looking for a homing shot out, looking for a target, you actually have like no recoil from the wall whatsoever. So it makes wall jumping a lot easier. So you saw me use this before on the first boss Buckfire. This is an ability called Giga Crush that only Model A has. It uses all your energy, but you do usually a bar plus 2 ticks of damage to the boss. You'll be seeing this pretty much the whole run. So this is Rose Park. He's pretty simple. So there's actually a faster strat for killing bosses in this game. You can use the homing shot to hit them first before you do a charge shot. And the homing shot doesn't put them into iframe, so you can do another shot afterwards. But the problem is with that, is if you release the homing shot and the charge shot too closely together, it actually will eat one of the inputs. So I don't really do it because I end up dropping one of the inputs all the time. But you'll see a lot of others runners do it. So, a nice thing about beginners is no spike damage, or there's no pit damage on your first entry into the pit. So we'll skip a lot of spike picks since, and pits in general, just by taking damage. So now I need to actually go back to go to one of the other areas that I need to get boss data from. So we're going to the ice fields. So this game drops a lot of inputs. That's really one of the few downsides of this game. And ice fields makes it infinitely worse just because of the ice physics they have in it. Oh wow, I actually overjumped the door. That does not happen often. So here's ice fields. Oh god, that's not good. Whoa, that's really not good. I've never had the arrow go that far, so we're gonna improvise, kinda. That was, that's actually not happened to me before, legitimately. So, got the good ice break. So you can cancel out of certain moves, like Buckfire's drop kick, by just hitting the object. That's not your attack hitbox, that is. So, another just easy mini-boss. So another thing to mention is Buckfire actually takes no movement penalty whatsoever for being underwater, while everybody that's a non-swimming character actually does. So he's really good to have for this stage. And that was a great sign of a dropped input. Well, I just kind of stood there while I was actually hitting the shoot button. So that was fun. And well, this is a run. So I have to get the backup health right here. Alright, got that at least. Go through the door, please. Thank you. Alright, so I kinda gotta make up some time, so I'm gonna do something kinda stupid. Oh, yep, that was being stupid. That went well, though. Drop kicks are kind of unpredictable, because they can change at the last minute if you barely hit the D-pad in the other direction. So, most of the runners in this game do not go for drop kicks. I kind of need to make up some time after those mistakes earlier. Okay, so coming up is Chrono Force. So he's a very interesting boss in the fact that you can only hit him on the lower half of his body. His upper half of his body is invincible to all damage. So we can't use Giga Crush. That's pretty much the big thing for this one. There is a quick kill for this boss, but it's I find it extremely difficult. Other people find it pretty easy. So I don't go for it. Also, you can hit him off screen, which is very helpful. So this is what you try to avoid with the quick kill, is this animation right here. It's just time consuming, it's not like dangerous at all. Oh, okay. Shot that too early. So that was Chrono Force. Chrono Force can... If you're learning this game, he's gonna cause you problems for a while. Okay, so now we have all the bosses we needed to unlock the elemental door that's ahead. So, it actually takes Buckfire, Chrono Force, and Rose Park to unlock the door over into the oil fields. We also skipped that checkpoint right there, so we just saved time in turning in that quest. We'll end up having to turn both it and another quest in later, but it still ends up saving time. I didn't get the cancel there, and unfortunately hit a spike. So, I actually want to have a good amount of health after going through oil fields, because the next boss, the strats I use for the boss, coming up, Atlas, is I actually use some damage boosting strats, just so I can keep her on a RNG cycle that I really like. And I'm probably not going to end up getting any health drops right now, just because my luck is usually really bad for this first part. Let's see how fortunate I get up here. Okay, got one good one. Okay, I'm good on health now. So, once again, beginner, I can just jump in the pits. Don't have to care. So if you played the ZX Advent series, if you played the first game, you'll recognize this mini-boss. Also, cutscene buffer strats. That was bad. I should not have gotten hit there. I'm gonna have to safety heal. So you can actually, so you're supposed to actually go turn on the generator, use the elevator to get up here, but you can just skip it with Buckfire because he's amazing. And of course, there's that health right there, and I can't pick it up because of cutscenes. Oh, you gotta love cutscenes sometimes. So, for me to actually be able to use the save point, I have to get the generator back online. I also have to get back online just so I can access one of the rooms here to get rescue one of the scavengers. So, coming up is a small little trick that me and Zolas ended up finding. That it pretty much, there we go, skips hitting the other generator. You jump up in the air and you have enough frames, I think around 3 to 4, that you can actually turn in mid-air and hit the other generator with the electric tentacle. Or vine. And once again, this is a trick that like none of the top 3 runners can get, but I can get consistently. So, aka I'm a god at this game. No, I'm not. I'm not. But I love my ego. Okay, so coming up to Atlas. Atlas uses model A? No, wait, what am I saying? F, that's it. From the ZX series. So every boss has a certain set RNG for how they respond to what you do. Oh, okay, I actually messed that up. So I messed up my RNG. Normally I get Atlas to start laying mines like this earlier, but since that charge shot actually missed, since I missed with it, it caused her to go on a different string of RNG. So pretty much we got parts from the ship to go back and fix the train that Buckfire broke earlier. So now we're going to go back, have the train fixed, and we're going to go to Legion HQ. And then our next box is Shinnok, who uses Model P. I think I pronounced that right. Also, prepare to hear a lot of this hub music. Okay, so this is the beginning of Legion HQ. And Legion HQ is one of the few maps that kind of flows a lot differently than most of the other maps. Most maps have a constant theme throughout it. This one, every area is a little bit different. So this area we have these treadmills that speed you up, slow you down. And then a long elevator section, which we don't sit through. We just kind of stand at the top and not care. So give it a little bit of time to pass. Alright, we're good. Oh, she got you on the back. So the next section that's about to come up is a stair climb, which has a lot of enemies in there that are positioned just in the right place, that they can knock you away from jumping up. And there's a lot of randomness in it, unfortunately. But you can kind of get through really quickly, and I actually just discovered a little bit of a damage boost that you can take to save a few frames. Because, you know, it's all about saving the frames, and I missed it. So pretty much you get bodied by that motorcycle guy that passed by. And he actually kind of clips you up to the top of the stairs. Oh my, wow, told myself I would not forget that one. Did not mean to go up there. Like that. That's a great example of how the stairs are just bad. He normally turns and stops, he doesn't keep running, but he kept running and actually knocked him back down. So here's Shinnok, who uses Model P from ZX series. So, Grade doesn't have to do with this, but Blade Barrier actually absorbs some hits. So if you time it right, you can actually like hit him a little bit, right like that, right after his shields. Okay, so that's Model P. So now we'll go straight into using him for pretty much the rest of this area. Now I'm going to try to get a frame perfect little jump right here, and I missed it unfortunately. And I'm not going to try for it again. So if there's a little pixel, just one little pixel left, you can get that jump on it, you can actually skip that platform and barely hit enough to wall jump your way up. Wow, this is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Alright, so I actually have to be really careful right here. There we go. So, you also might recognize that returning boss from most Mega Man X games. See if I can get this. Unfortunately did not get... You can actually fall down on the board and then grab it with P's claws. Unfortunately, I messed that up. It's a really small window that you can do it. The only person I can see get it almost all the time is Jim Freak, one of the other runners. Man, I cannot get a health drop. I'm actually going to ride this just to be safe. Marathon strats! Pretty much dying loses so much time in this game that if you're doing just like a no reset run or safe run, you just need to play it safe. So two of the people in this room were evil. One is now gone. Guess who it was? Or look it up in the wiki, I don't care. So now, after going to Legion HQ, we unlock 4 other areas to go to that we can do in any order. So, we first go over to Floating Ruins, which has Aeolus, who uses Model H from the ZX series. The whole theme of this area is wind, so we have a lot of wind pressure pushing us around and tornadoes that will throw us up and around. Oh, come on, please. Oh, man. So I got hit by the static thing. It doesn't let you jump. There's a very small little hitbox for it that you can kind of glide under and not get hit by that static. I am, unfortunately, very bad about getting hit by it. So now you'll see here the wind start kicking in for this level. And here's the tornadoes. So it's kind of a neat level and good music. Am I evil? Of course I'm evil. So coming up is a little movement optimization that I came up with. Just using tornadoes. I think it's just kind of cute. That's really it. It saves like a second if you get the optimal setup for it. And a good speed. So this is Aeolus. So his charge move in this one, unlike Gray's, is he puts 2 tornadoes in front of him and behind him. He actually gains armor and absorbs hits with those tornadoes. So you don't want to see those at all. And he actually gave me really good RNG. So that was an excellent Aeolus fight. Aeolus / Model H is one of the most used transformations in this game. You'll see him quite a bit. So coming up next is Highway, which has Thetis, who uses Model L from the original ZX. He also has probably one of the most annoying voices in this game. Unfortunately, we have to hear it quite a bit because he has one of the best water movements, as well as one of the best wall jump movements as well. So he gets quite a heavy usage in this game. So far, very good start to Highway. So Highway actually has 2 mini-bosses to it, which are completely unnecessary, and kind of just time waste. Probably the devs just got lazy, didn't know what to do. So this is quite literally a reskinned version of one of the bosses from ZX. Come on, just don't go over. Okay, cool. So you never want him to go over to the left of the screen, because then you have to make up for all that running during this little cutscene transition that you have to sit through. You always want to go to the right, which he is giving me now. Which is really good. You always want to go to the right if you can get it. But it's very, very, very small chance to get it. So the second mini-boss is in this next area, and he's kind of worse, actually. I'm just going to kind of save it for the show. So here's the second mini-boss. Yeah, it looks fine, right? So what we do is we switch to Chrono Force, we use his slow time, and then we just kind of kill him pretty quickly. You can also do a strat with using Shinnok. You don't have to freeze time, and you can just kind of spam. I don't really like the strat, and they both are about the same amount of time. Alright, so coming up with status. The difficult thing about this fight is you actually fight him underwater, so you suffer a movement penalty the whole fight. But the nice thing is while he's even off screen, he gets hit by Giga Crush. So if you actually move underneath him to the right too much, and during certain moves, he'll reposition himself or abandon the move completely. So you have to be very careful with your placement. But thankfully, he's an easy fight if you understand that. So here's Status. He can swim. He also has that. And I apologize ahead of time if you hate his voice. So any weapon attack with like a saber, a sword, whatever, it actually will negate how far you get pushed back when you wall jump. So you can get some pretty quick wall jumps using them, and you'll see me use that with Thetis quite a bit. So in this game, you always have to be in the form of Model A when you hit enter a cutscene. I'm pretty sure that's just because they didn't want to have to use all the voice actors over and over again, because when you transform, you also gain that voice actor's that character's voice. I'm pretty sure that's why that they kept that transformation. So this is Scrapyard, which is home to Voltron, and actually a really fun boss and a very fun level. You'll see a lot of assortment of little skips and tricks that we figured out, and a lot of the movement optimization. So this first half, I'm going to be using PX quite a bit. Just because of his claw mechanic for these levers is pretty much needed. So you see all that trash coming down, it's something that I'm going to have to avoid for this whole area. If you take a wrong path at some point, one of these wrong doors, you can actually go and turn off the trash, which is very helpful. But it wastes a lot of time to do so, so it's not worth doing a speedrun. Like, having the trash turned off there would be very helpful. So, I've been told that all those doors actually have different colors to help you see through which one's which. Unfortunately, I'm red-green colorblind, so I can't tell the difference in those doors at all. trips me up quite a bit. So here is where we switch to Aeolus for the first time, and we'll use him to skip a lot of switches. It makes navigating a lot of these block puzzles a lot simpler. So here, if you were Gray, you would actually have it skip to... You have a better setup to skip this setup that you have to do with coming into this room and hitting the switch. You can actually completely skip it with Gray. Unfortunately, we're not Gray. Oh wow, I missed. So I actually learned today, you can get crushed by that block right there, the one that was moving back. The last one that was moving back, I should say. Yeah, that was a fun experience. That's also my PB now. Dying to getting crushed by a rock that shouldn't crush you. It's weird. Okay. So, coming up is Voltron. So there's a... We used to do this whole fight with Model A, but Icky Soda ended up finding a better strat, switching over to Aeolus after Giga Crush. So we Giga Crush, we switch over to Aeolus. So, a Saber doesn't automatically put into iframes. There we go. So that actually saves, like, if you get the best setup, it actually saves around 4 seconds. With mine, it's probably around 1 to 2 that I just saved. I didn't do a lot of damage to him outside his sound shield. So I guess I should explain it. Story-wise, while we're going to these 4 areas, is the collect pieces of Model W, who is the soul of Wily. And we're actually getting beat every single time to the piece. The bad guys are getting it, because we're awful good guys. Also, if we got all the pieces, there won't be a plot element for later on in the game. So now we go to the Control Tower, home of Queen Bee. Control Tower is pretty fun. Especially if you do what I like to call the Elevator strat. Of course, I don't do the Elevator strat because I don't hate myself. But Gym Freak and I believe Elphys do it. Which is you use Aeolus through this whole thing and doing wall jumps and timing jumps over these pretty much fire turrets. Or you can just use Rose Park and just kind of climb up. You lose 4 seconds compared to using Elevator strats. I feel like the 4 seconds is kind of worth the time loss. Okay, so that one shoots fire. So if you go too quickly, that one will actually shoot a fire shot at you and waste some time. Ooh, okay, I actually had the wrong transformation. Supposed to go with switching over to Atlas. So we use Atlas quite a bit, like I've shown already. So a neat thing that Atlas can do is you can actually change the trajectory of your shot by going into an editor and editing it. We'll do that after this mini-boss up ahead. This mini-boss is also really easy for Atlas because Atlas can shoot up. This mini-boss is literally just a wall of laser turrets. So you'll see how we exploit this. Done. Pretty easy mini-boss when you have Atlas. So now we're going to edit Atlas's laser's path. So now it will go up 2 squares and then over to the right or left, whichever direction you're shooting. This can be really helpful with Queen Bee when it comes up. So wall jumping is really buggy in this game. It can kind of just drop inputs sometimes, or your position can be really weird. Like, this is a lot harder than I'm making it seem, actually. This is probably one of the best I've done. Wow, that was pretty good. So that was actually that was one of the best, like, wall jumps I've had in a while. So, Queen Bree is coming up right after this area. B, sorry. I just wish her name was Queen Bree so badly. It would be a better name. So Giga Crush, so Giga Crush still hits her during this. So the only active hitbox for her HP is her at the very top. Her, I guess, abdomen? I guess that's the best way of putting that thing. It has its own hitbox, but when it explodes, it does damage to her. Oh, wow, 1 hit point away. That was an okay fight. If you luck out with her RNG after you destroy her, once again, I'm assuming that's an abdomen, the best way of describing it, she'll stick around long enough for her second phase that you can kill her in that. It's kind of rare to get her to stick around long enough for it, however. She tends to go back and grab another one quite quickly. But in the refight, she doesn't at all. Oh. So that's one of the few uses of Queen Bee. She's a very helpful transformation. You can just see what they were thinking about with that one. So, we just got a message after completing these 4 areas that they found another location for Model W, and it's back near the Hunter Camp in this underground section. So, unlike the normal trend for all these levels so far, that you go through a few areas and then you have the boss fight, this time around we're going to have the boss fight in the second area. Of course, however, to get there, we have to go through another set of elemental keys, because they have to check to make sure you actually killed the bosses, since this is back in the beginning area. Alright, and now we're through. Also, one of the last, it's the last time we'll ever have to do elemental key section. So welcome to the underground, where there's more darkness, which makes PX once again very useful. So a lot of the runners will actually turn on their bottom screen to PX's special, because it's actually easier to see all the enemies on the screen that way. I just kind of have the whole level memorized a little bit, outside of that horrible jump. Let's just say that didn't happen. I also don't mind taking damage that much. So, here we have the boss fight for this area. A very recognizable face, if you played this series. Oh hey, it's the main character from the first game. And we're gonna kill him. So, now we have the main character from the first game's ability. We have ZX if you look at the bottom screen. ZX is extremely strong because he has an ability called Z-Blade, which is you jump up in the air, you hold up on the D-pad, and you do a giant crescent spiral attack that pretty much doesn't trigger Z iframes until the very end of it, making it extremely powerful on bosses. So for the rest of this game, we'll be using ZX for pretty much every boss outside of one boss refight. Also another familiar sight from the ZX series. Very fun mini-boss. Of course, in this one, he's more just an obstacle. So that is Z-Saber right there. So now I just need to kill him. Because if he destroys 2 blocks at the very end, you actually can't make the jump. So this is supposed to be, you're supposed to race him to the end. But, you know, we just kind of decided not to do that. Ooh, that was close. Ooh, I almost took some unnecessary damage there. So we have a mini-boss coming up. And it's quite literally just a reskin of the spider boss from the first tower area. So you think, oh man, more RNG of him maybe going up all the way to the top. Well, we have Atlas now. He shoots straight up. This is quite literally the most trivial boss you'll ever see in this game. Done. Like, very trivial mini-boss. And more cutscenes. And more forcing you out of a model. So we have to go and turn in this information so we can get a green key this time around, so we can unlock all the green doors. With this key, you can unlock all the areas in the game but 2. Yeah, 2. So I teleport the ice fields because it just makes it a faster trip to the 2 new areas. So, this area, the boss fight, is right at the beginning. And while they have a name, I don't like pronouncing it, so I started calling them the Twins. The Twins have a really neat quick kill. So, let's see if I can get it. So, switch to ZX. Get bodied. And quick kill. Nice. Very clean quick kill. Oh, the symmetry. I think that's my favorite thing about the quick kill in this game. You keep them, like, symmetrical to each other's positions. Well, that one wasn't really that symmetric, but normally you can get it. So, the rest of the ruins here is just kind of... It's supposed to be a maze. But there's a really easy path to take. So if you ever got stuck here or currently trying to get through it on the file, just follow what I'm about to do. It's literally the easiest path in the game. Though since we're speedrunners, we do some damage boosts through it, so I actually need to get some health at some point. So unfortunately those guys are perfectly guarded up until after a shot, so you have to just wait it out. I believe with Aeolus, there's a small little window that you can jump through, but I believe the only person that goes for that is Gym Freak, and that's because he's insane. Alright. So... up next is every runner of this game's favorite mini-boss, Tree Boss. Tree Boss is pure... well, I wouldn't say pure RNG, but he has the potential of pretty much making you lose a run. So he has an attack called Leaves. Leaves take around 10, let's say 10 seconds. He can do that 3 times in a row before he reveals his weak spot. Thankfully, I got best RNG. Yay! Best RNG. Woo! So we have to see Leaves. Awesome. So we got pretty much 2 cutscenes that we're about to skip. It's pretty much we get here and Prometheus and Pandora destroy this computer and they're trying to make sure we don't get the data to figure out where their secret base is. But hey, we get some anyways. We just get a fraction of it. So let's go to the other area and find the rest of the data. Yay! We'll go to Secret Labs, which is kind of convenient for finding data, to be honest. And also the most adorable boss in this game, Headshock. So, for people that don't normally watch, at least me stream, Secret Boss, for me, is very notorious for never giving me health items. And this is the one series of areas that I do a lot of damage boosts through. So it makes Headshock actually a little nerve-wracking because I have the potential to die extremely easy. Thought I got a second shut off. Oh. So this extra damage I've taken so far is not a good thing. Just because that I normally don't get health drops. So I have 2 more damage boosts to take. And I need a health drop badly. Because it's very easy to take damage up ahead if I get unlucky. I'm gonna wait for him to shoot. That's what normally hits me and causes me to lose some HP. Dang it! Oh, man. There was no way that I was gonna survive that right there. So that is the first death of the run. Deaths tend to happen. Unfortunately, that was a very bad one. But deaths are kind of easy thing to happen in this game. Oh, now I get health item. Thanks, game. Oh, big love you too, buddy. So if I jump at that point, I would have gotten hit by the electricity and died. And if I didn't jump like I did, I would have hit the top of that replicoid. So I would have died no matter what. So it happens. So here's Hedgehog. He's adorable. We're gonna kill him. There we go. So unfortunately he's dead, but he's adorable, cut in half. So next up we go to the biolabs. The biolabs are actually a very executional based level. If you don't do a good job with your platforming, you're gonna have a bad time. If you do a good job with it, it looks beautiful. So we'll see how it goes for me. And then following it is a very fun boss called Bifrost, who also has a quick kill, which I'll go for. So pretty much now we're getting the cutscene saying that the data we found was the keys needed to a teleporter somewhere. They don't know where it is, just those are the keys we need for it. It happens to be in Biolabs. You didn't put that together. So if you actually hug this wall just right, you can hit both of them, like that. Save a few seconds. So you can actually come to Biolab before the other two, but you then have to teleport back to this place anyways, just so you can go to the next area afterwards. So I'm probably not going to be talking a lot through this area, so I'll apologize ahead of time. Okay, so that was not a bad first area. So the second area is a lot longer and a lot more technical. I'm probably not going to talk it all through it. Transformation. So that green slime would slow you down if it gets on you, like it just did for me. Oh, man. That was some rough movement. Though I'm at really good health going into Bifrost. So here's coming Bifrost. Bifrost we can't Giga Crush because of his opening move. So we go straight into ZX. Quick kill. Pretty simple. I used to think it was hard, but I was overthinking it. It's pretty simple. You just go back a little bit to cause him to slam his jaws shut, jump in, take a hit, Z-Saber, then finish him off with whatever extra swings you need. So, if you're wondering, yes, we can turn into that monstrosity I just killed. And we have to do it exactly one time, right now. And now we never use them again. Yay! So that's the teleport we need to go to the next area. But we actually have to go and turn in the quest first, because it's a trigger that allow us to actually use the teleporter. I don't understand why that was a trigger, but it is. If we tried to come and hit this right now without going and turning the save data, it would just be like, it's a teleporter. It needs something extra to use, and that's it. It just shuts you out. It's a little silly. So now we are at Undersea Volcano? If you do not like Chrono Force's voice, I recommend muting the volume for this area. So this is pretty straightforward. It's just Chrono Force is really safe because of the fact that he doesn't take damage from his top half and stuff's constantly following on you. The fastest strat is using Buckfire, but Buckfire can be frozen by a lot of the things in this area. So you save around, I believe, 4 to... Oh wow, wrong transformation. You save a few seconds with Buckfire, but that's with perfect movement, not getting frozen a single time. If you get frozen once, you're losing time, compared to using Chrono Force. So this is going pretty well. So, for some reason, Thetis follows faster when he's not in his swim mode underwater. So, left side hype, because right side is for people that are good at this game. Or crazy. I prefer to go with crazy. So I actually do want some health drops, just for the next boss up ahead. So, coming up is Prometheus and Pandora. If you played ZX, once again, you'll recognize these people. This boss fight is literally, they copy and pasted this boss fight from the original game. Okay, low. Alright. That was a little iffy there. I didn't do a lot of damage on the first phase. But it happens. Okay, I am safety saving because of this next area. This next area is... So the final area of the game is very dangerous if you're on low health at any point. There's a lot of things that can kill you. There's a lot of spikes everywhere. So you want to be very careful. So being at 2 HP is like... Even if you're on a PB pace run, you go and heal, because you're going to die. That was really lucky. Oh wow. I went right over his head, and now I'm playing really bad. Alright, so now coming up is the boss rush. So we'll fight all the pseudoroids again. So none of the models will fight. So we'll do Chrono Force first, and Thetis gets his last little shine. He's actually the only other person we'll use for all the boss fights outside of ZX. So have fun, you know, not having to hear Z-Saber for a little bit. Oh yeah, that was unfortunate. So this is why Thetis is really good against Chrono Force. It's so simple, and it's the fastest thing. And for a while, both Gem Freak and Iki didn't do that. Just me, Zolas, and Elphys. It was kind of funny when they learned. Hey, I need health. So now we'll use the X for the rest of the refights. So the RNG is a lot more random for the refights. So I tend to stay in place and get what Buckfire just did, and that's consistently for me been one of the quicker kills. Also, Milk, if you're listening, we're getting close on time. About 10 minutes out.
Alright.
Oh, what is the time right now? Just curious.
56:09.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Just by the way, it's not good. There we go. So that's Voltron down. Hey, the RNG is a lot more random. Because RNG is in degrees of randomness, depending on how it's programmed. So pretty much the best way of putting it is the first time you fight them, they're actually kind of have fewer paths that they can take for their options. When you do the refights, it's almost completely just there's a random number that gets assigned, and it's like, hey, you know, this time it's 5, okay? This time it's 6, okay? This time it's 1. It kind of just does stupid things sometimes. You can't manipulate it like the other bosses, the originals. Alright, so the first boss that we'll do in this next area is we'll go straight to Bifrost, just because of the quick kill. But pretty much Bifrost is the only one out of all these that you have the potential of dying on, just because he can troll you really hard if you mess up. So just don't be bad, pretty much. Like that! That was very bad! Alright, I salvaged it though. So pretty much there, it didn't do my jump input, and I didn't get high enough to get knocked into him. I knocked me out instead. I wanted to get knocked in, then start the Z-Saber. Getting knocked out, I had to re-jump back in again. Waste too much time, and then I didn't have Z-frames again, so I had to get hit again. It was just a mess. Alright. So Queen Bee is the only one that potentially has us changing out of ZX. After I destroy her abdomen, if she ends up flying off again, I will switch to A and just Giga Crush her. Which I'm gonna have to do. Very simple solution. Unfortunately, you waste, I think, about 3 seconds in transformation times. Also, while the bottom teleporters have invisible walls until the elevator's all the way at the bottom, the top ones don't. So you can just jump up the wall like I've been doing so far. So we got the twins again. We can still get a quick kill on them. So let's see if I get it. Got it. I've gotten really consistent at it lately. It's It actually is a lot harder than it looks. Like, it's really all just down to timing. It takes a little while to get used to it, but it's easy, really easy to mess up. So last but not least, we have Headshock, the most adorable of them all. So unlike all the other fights that start going straight for a Z-Saber, I actually use a different move to start Headshock. I'll do an uppercut. That was very, 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 very bad RNG. That was actually the first time I ever saw that string before, so it's kind of improvising. Alright, so now we have the last area up until the final boss. This last area is, if you played this game before, you know it's just awful. There's spikes everywhere, there's turrets everywhere, there's things that one-shot you not one-shot you, but always hit you constantly. You make stupid mistakes like that, the slime blocks are in the way. It's just, it's hard to go through. This is the one area that's probably I've practiced the most, and I'm still not good at. Oh wow, I got health. That is actually extremely rare, outside the set places. Yeah, so I use Voltron there as a safety strat. There is actually a backup. There's an actual strat that you use there, but I'm not good enough to do it. Well, I should say I get too nervous at the end and I mess it up. So now we have Three-Headed Dragon, the first phase of the final boss. So as everything, as a recurring thing, we bring Chrono Force, Time Freeze, switch to Atlas, because this is a strong thing to do. Alright. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that spam hurts. Alright, so that's the first phase down. So the next phase is Albert, as Ball W. So, this is once again a very simple fight and menial because of Giga Crush and Z-Saber. Giga Crush. Switch over. Final boss. Like, that's literally it. Alright, so we're coming up on time. Alright, and time.
Coolio.
Alright.
1:02:46.
Okay, not as bad as I thought. Let's see what... So we go by in-game time in the community. 1:59:46. Alright, I was thinking that I was not going to get sub-hour at all. So, I am completely happy with this run. So my PV is 58:40. So I was just a minute behind. Not bad. Not bad for marathon.
Cool. Is there anything else you would like to say?
So shout out to the ZX Advent community. Iki Soda, Zolis, Gem Freak. They've put a lot of time in this game. I just talk about it a lot. That's literally my role in the community. And thanks to Milk and the others behind Degen Dash for having me back again. So, and maybe I'll be back again next time. Who knows? Probably not. Let's face it. But thanks everybody for watching. Thanks Milk and the crew of Degen Dash for having me. And it was fun, as always.
Coolio.